So, welcome to another deep dive.
Deep dive. Okay.
Today,
Yeah.
imagine you're in a palace in Nepal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a seemingly normal evening,
Yep.
a family dinner,
Right.
but then gunshots ring out.
Ooh.
It's June 1st, 2001, the night of the Nepalese Royal Massacre.
Wow.
And this isn't a movie.
Oh, wow.
It's a real historical event,
Mm-hmm.
shrouded in mystery.
I see.
What makes this event so fascinating is that the official explanation
Okay.
left many unconvinced,
Yeah.
leading to a whirlwind of conspiracy theories that still circulate today.
That's so interesting.
Exactly, and that's precisely what we're going to explore. We've got eyewitness accounts, official reports,
Okay.
and a whole web of theories to untangle.
Oh, wow.
Our goal, to understand why this event still captivates us
Yeah.
and raises questions about power, truth,
Mhm.
and maybe even a little palace intrigue.
It's a story that truly compels you
Mm-hmm.
to scrutinize the information,
Yeah.
weigh different perspectives,
Yes.
and ask who ultimately benefits from each version of events.
So let's transport ourselves back to that night.
Okay?
June 1st, 2001, at the Narayanhiti Palace in Kathmandu.
Got it.
King Birendra,
Huh.
Queen Aishwarya, their children,
Right.
and other close relatives are gathered for a private family dinner.
I see.
You know, a seemingly ordinary evening, or so it seemed.
Right.
Around 8:30 p.m., the illusion of normalcy shatters.
Hmm.
Gunfire erupts within the palace walls.
Wow.
The aftermath is a scene of unimaginable tragedy.
Oh.
The king, queen, their son, Prince Gyanendra,
Uh-huh.
and several other family members lie dead.
It's hard to fathom such a horrific event,
Yeah,
especially within the supposed safety of a royal palace.
right.
The official story quickly emerged,
Hmm.
pointing the finger at Crown Prince Dipendra.
The Nepalese government's report
Yeah.
painted a picture of Dipendra fueled by alcohol and rage.
Okay.
Over his parents' disapproval of his relationship with Divyani Rana, snapping under pressure,
Wow.
he allegedly embarked on a shooting rampage, taking the lives of his family members
Jeez.
before ultimately turning the gun on himself.
While that explanation would
Yeah.
seem to tie things up neatly,
Mm-hmm.
there were some significant inconsistencies
Right.
that immediately raised red flags for many.
For instance, Dipendra was a trained military officer.
Mm-hmm.
Would someone with his background
Right.
truly act so impulsively and recklessly?
That's a key question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it leads us to consider the psychological factors at time.
Mm-hmm.
Was Dipendra truly in a state of mind
Uh-huh.
to commit such an act?
Right.
Was there more to the story than a simple fit of rage?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps undermined mental health struggles?
Yeah.
Or a deeper conflict within the family?
Yeah.
The official narrative doesn't delve into those complexities.
Then there's the glaring issue of security.
Right.
This is a royal palace, one of the most heavily guarded places in the
Yeah.
entire country.
Yeah.
How could such a massacre
Right.
even occur within those supposedly impenetrable walls?
That security lapse
Yeah.
is perhaps one of the most baffling aspects of
Right.
this entire event.
Mm-hmm.
Eyewitness accounts that contradicted the official narrative
Yeah.
mysteriously vanished from the public eye.
Wow.
And crucial evidence seemed to disappear.
And then there's that particularly curious detail,
Okay,
the timing of Dipendra being declared king.
precisely.
He was declared king while in a coma,
Mm-hmm.
a coma that lasted 3 days before he succumbed to his injuries.
Oh, wow.
This conveniently paved the way for his
Yeah.
uncle, Prince Gyanendra, to ascend to the throne.
The timing does seem
Yeah.
incredibly convenient, doesn't it?
It does.
And that detail alone
Mm-hmm.
fueled the first major conspiracy theory,
Okay.
an internal power struggle
Mm-hmm.
within the royal family itself.
Mm-hmm. Many believe that Prince Gyanendra,
Right.
who was notably absent from the palace that night,
Mm-hmm.
might have orchestrated the entire massacre.
Wow.
He had openly disagreed with his brother's more liberal policies,
Okay.
leading some to speculate that he saw an opportunity to seize power.
This theory paints a rather dark picture
Mm-hmm.
of ambition and betrayal, doesn't it?
It does.
But before we get swept up in a Game of Thrones scenario,
Right.
we need to consider other possibilities.
Absolutely. Jumping to conclusions would be a mistake.
Yeah.
We can't ignore the whispers of foreign involvement. A theory that adds another layer of intrigue to this already complex story.
Right. King Birendra was
Oh.
known for his independent stance on the world stage.
Exactly.
He wasn't afraid to push back against influence from powerful entities like the CIA
Yeah.
or India's RAW.
And some believe this independent streak made him a target. Could foreign powers
Okay.
have sought a more pliable leader in Nepal?
Yeah.
Someone who would align with their interests? Perhaps they saw an opportunity
Right.
to manipulate the situation to their advantage.
This theory raises questions
Yeah.
about King Birendra's foreign policy
Yeah.
and whether his decisions might have created powerful enemies who would benefit from his removal.
Right.
Were there specific geopolitical strategies or resources at play
Yeah.
that might have motivated such an intervention?
It's a chilling thought, isn't it?
It certainly is.
It is.
However, let's not forget another major player in Nepal at the time,
Right.
the Maoist rebels.
Ah, yes, the Maoists.
Uh-huh.
They were engaged in an intense insurgency
Yeah.
with the goal of abolishing the monarchy entirely.
Wow.
Could they have been involved in the massacre,
Mm-hmm.
aiming to destabilize the country
Right.
and further their own agenda?
That's a theory we can't dismiss.
Yeah,
The Maoist insurgency was a significant force at the time,
right.
and their motives were clear.
Mm-hmm.
Was the massacre a calculated act of violence
Yeah.
to weaken the monarchy?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it merely a tragic event
Mm-hmm.
that they opportunistically exploited to their advantage?
Right.
Difficult to say for sure.
So far, we have a power-hungry uncle,
Uh-huh.
potentially meddling foreign power,
Uh-huh.
and a rebel group vying for control.
Yeah.
It's like choosing your own adventure
Uh,
in a real-life political thriller.
There's one more piece to
Okay.
add to this puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
One that might hold the key
Yeah.
to understanding how this tragedy unfolded.
Okay.
The security lapse itself.
Right.
How did Dipendra manage to obtain multiple firearms
Yeah.
within the initially guarded palace walls?
That's the million-dollar question. It points to either an astounding level of incompetence within the palace security or something far more sinister, complicity.
The possibility of complicity
Yeah.
is chilling indeed.
Right.
Could someone have deliberately turned a blind eye?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps even assisted Dipendra in carrying out the killings?
Wow.
So who was pulling the strings?
Right.
And what was their ultimate goal?
We've got a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
Each theory offers a different lens
Right.
through which to view this event.
Yeah.
Each with its own set of supporters and evidence,
Yeah.
making it almost impossible
Yeah.
to definitively say what truly transpired that night.
And that's
Right.
what makes this event so captivating,
Yeah.
even decades later.
Yeah,
We're left with a puzzle with missing pieces,
right.
a historical mystery with incredibly high stakes.
Mm-hmm.
The implications of what happened that night
Mm-hmm.
extended far beyond the palace walls.
So let's move on to the aftermath of this tragedy.
Okay.
The massacre sent shockwaves through Nepal and beyond.
Uh-huh.
What was the immediate impact on the nation?
Well, the public was understandably devastated
Yeah,
and deeply suspicious.
right.
Many felt the official story simply didn't add up,
Mm-hmm.
and the lack of transparency from the government
Right.
only served to fuel the already rampant conspiracy theories.
Right.
Public trust in the monarchy was irrevocably shaken.
Given the circumstances, I can imagine Prince Gyanendra, despite becoming king,
Yeah.
faced significant challenges.
Right.
Did his ascension to the throne do
Exactly.
anything to quell the unrest and suspicion surrounding the massacre?
Not at all.
Okay.
In fact, he became a deeply unpopular figure.
Mm,
Many viewed him with suspicion,
right.
believing he had capitalized on the tragedy
Right.
to seize power for himself. His reign was marked by political turmoil
Mm-hmm.
and instability.
Yeah.
There were constant protests,
Right.
accusations of corruption,
Mm,
and a general sense that he lacked the legitimacy
yeah.
of his predecessors.
It sounds like the massacre created a deep rift between the monarchy and the people they ruled.
Right.
Did this event have any lasting effects on the future of Nepal?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This event wasn't just a tragedy.
Right.
It was a turning point in Nepal's history.
Yeah.
The Nepalese Royal Massacre became a symbol of everything
Right.
the public perceived as wrong with the monarchy.
Mm-hmm.
The secrecy,
Yeah.
the potential for power struggles,
Mm-hmm.
and the apparent lack of accountability.
So this single event,
Yeah.
regardless of who was truly responsible,
Right.
set in motion a chain of events
Mhm.
that ultimately led to the monarchy's downfall.
It certainly played a major role.
Okay.
The monarchy never truly recovered
Right.
from the damage inflicted that night.
Wow.
Just 7 years later, in 2008,
Mm-hmm.
Nepal abolished the monarchy altogether, and
Wow.
became a republic.
It's incredible how a single event, a night of unimaginable violence, could have such a profound and lasting impact on an entire nation.
Yeah,
It really highlights how fragile power structures can be
yeah,
and how quickly things can change,
yeah,
especially when public trust is shattered.
indeed.
Yeah,
The massacre and its aftermath
right.
exposed the vulnerabilities of the Nepalese monarchy
Mm-hmm.
and contributed to its eventual demise.
Right.
It's a stark reminder that power,
Yeah,
even in seemingly stable institutions,
right.
can be fleeting,
Mm-hmm.
and that events can spiral in unexpected directions.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful,
Oh,
revealing a story full of twists,
right,
turns, and unanswered questions.
right.
It's
Yep.
like peeling back the layers of a complex historical onion,
Yeah,
with each layer revealing more intrigue and uncertainty.
it really is.
It is.
And that's what makes this event so compelling,
Yeah,
even decades later.
right.
It's a stark reminder that truth can be elusive,
Mm-hmm.
especially when powerful individuals and institutions are involved.
Yeah,
We're left grappling with incomplete information,
right.
conflicting accounts, and the weight of history.
As we've explored these different theories,
Yeah.
it's become clear that there's no easy answer,
Mhm.
no single narrative that definitively explains the events of that night.
Right.
We've examined the official account,
Uh-huh.
weighed the alternative theories, considered the motives of various actors,
Right.
and delved into the lasting impact of this tragedy.
What stands out to you from all of this? What
Yeah.
resonates most as we try to make sense
Right.
of this complex and tragic event?
I'm struck by the timing of the massacre
Okay.
and how it coincided with a period of immense change in Nepal.
Mm-hmm.
The country was already grappling with a Maoist insurgency
Right.
and growing public dissatisfaction with the monarchy.
Yeah.
The massacre, regardless of who was ultimately responsible,
Uh-huh.
seems to have acted as a catalyst,
Yeah.
accelerating the shift away from the monarchy and toward a new political reality.
That's a perceptive observation.
Thank you.
The massacre undoubtedly served as a catalyst,
Right.
shattering any remaining illusion of stability
Yeah.
and creating a vacuum that allowed new power dynamics to emerge,
Mm-hmm.
whether by design or by unfortunate coincidence.
Right.
The events of that night
Mm-hmm.
irrevocably altered the course of Nepalese history.
It's a chilling reminder of how fragile power can be and
Right.
how events can spiral in ways that no one could have predicted.
Right.
We started this deep dive with a mystery,
Yeah.
and while we've explored several possible explanations,
Mhm.
we're ultimately left with more questions than answers.
That's the nature of history, isn't it?
Yeah,
We piece together fragments of information,
right.
examine the evidence,
Mhm.
and attempt to reconstruct the past.
Right.
But some events,
Mhm.
like the Nepalese Royal Massacre,
Mm-hmm.
remain shrouded in ambiguity,
Right.
leaving us to grapple with the unknowns
Yeah.
and the enduring power of speculation.
And that's precisely what makes this event so fascinating. We've examined the facts,
Right.
explored the different perspectives,
Uh-huh.
and delved into the complexities of this historical puzzle.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's up to each of us to
What?
draw our own conclusions.
Maybe there's a detail we overlooked,
Right.
a connection waiting to be made
Mm-hmm.
that could shed new light on this enduring mystery.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah. Is there anything else from our deep dive that
Yeah.
you find particularly intriguing?
Well, it's the enduring mystery of it all
Yeah.
that I find captivating,
Mhm.
despite years of investigations.
Right.
And countless theories.
Yeah.
The truth remains elusive.
Uh-huh.
This tragedy serves as a powerful reminder
Okay.
that history is often messy,
Yeah.
riddled with unanswered questions and interpretations that vary depending on perspective.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Mm.
We've encountered conflicting accounts,
Mm-hmm.
ambiguous evidence,
Right.
and powerful individuals with their own agendas.
Yeah.
It's like trying to solve a puzzle
Uh-huh.
with half the pieces missing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's the beauty of exploring
Mhm.
historical events like this.
right.
It encourages critical thinking,
Mm-hmm.
challenges us to consider different viewpoints,
Right.
and reminds us that the search for truth
Mm-hmm.
is an ongoing process.
This case has certainly been a masterclass
Right.
in critical thinking.
Mm-hmm.
We've had to sift through information,
Mm-hmm.
evaluate evidence,
Yeah.
and weigh the potential biases of various sources.
Right.
It's like we've become armchair detectives,
Uh-huh.
piecing together a puzzle with no clear solution.
Precisely.
Yeah,
And even though we may never definitively know what
Right.
happened that night,
yeah.
the process of exploring the possibilities, considering the motives,
Yeah.
and understanding the context
Yeah,
is incredibly valuable.
absolutely. This deep dive has been a wild ride,
Ah,
filled with intrigue, tragedy,
mhm.
and unanswered questions.
Yeah,
We've gone from a seemingly ordinary family
Right.
dinner
right.
to a palace massacre,
Uh-huh.
delving into conspiracy theories,
Right.
political upheaval, and the eventual downfall of a monarchy.
It's a story that highlights the complexities of power,
Yeah.
the fragility of truth,
Mm-hmm.
the enduring impact of a single event
Right.
on the course of history.
Mm.
The Nepalese Royal Massacre serves as a cautionary tale,
Yeah.
reminding us that even in a world saturated with information,
Right.
the full story can remain frustratingly out of reach.
Well, we've certainly given you a lot to ponder today.
Yeah.
We've dissected the official account,
Uh-huh.
navigated the maze of alternative theories,
Right.
and traced the ripple effects of this event on Nepal's political landscape.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, the quest for truth continues.
This deep dive has equipped you with the knowledge and different perspectives
Right.
to draw your own conclusions.
Exactly.
As you reflect on this event,
Yeah.
remember to question the narratives presented, consider the motivations of those involved,
Right.
and remain open to the possibility
Yeah.
that the full truth may forever remain a mystery.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive
It's been a pleasure.
into one of history's most perplexing events.
Absolutely.
We encourage you to continue exploring,
Yeah.
researching,
Mhm.
and forming your own opinions.
And remember, history is full of captivating stories
Yes.
waiting to be uncovered. Until next time,
Yes.
keep asking questions,
Right.
challenge assumptions, and never stop seeking knowledge.
Thanks for joining us.